Alright, I mess with that lighting and mess with that lighting. Uh, hey, puppy. Working on metallic objects and getting good pictures is not the easiest thing to do. But I'm going to give this a shot and see how it turns out. Hey, so this is what she's looking like at the end of night one of engraving. And I started having a drink or two, and I'm not going to try to do those details on that face. And I need to go work on some equipment issues. Get those all squared away before I try to work on that. So you guys have a good night. Hey, so I want to talk through what I'm doing a little bit. I went back and totally scrapped the first bottom angel that I'd drawn up, and I had already engraved the top angel. I cannot get the macro function to kick on, but I'll show you later. There's some features in the face I didn't like. The face was a little bit too small, but other than that, I'm happy with the angel up top. But I wanted to redesign the bottom and capture some of the elements of the face. I'd also have the issue where I have the screw holes down at the bottom that I need to work around, and I found this angel off of Pinterest, and I kind of used it as a reference. I say reference, I almost 0% copied it. I totally redid where the hairs are, the hair is. I redrew the wings to fit the profile of the knife, and I'm going to redraw a bunch of functions on there, elements of the body too. So, get to work on it. Take care. Yeah, I'm down on the bench working on her. I'm trying to get this video set up for a minute. I'm just doing some outlines. All right. So one of the last steps on here is I'm going to throw some scroll work on here. And got some scroll work up here, some scroll work down here, some scroll work down there. You probably can't see because of the way the... no, you can see it just a little bit. But this was a real pain to design where I put the scroll work. And it just takes up space. And I want to cut out some of the background. Now let's cut out less background. But this is not how you would normally do that. Putting scrolls in 3 spots. So it was a real pain to design. And I'm going to stop boring you and switch over to the time-lapse mode. Merry Christmas. If I for some reason did this video in the right order, I just did that time lapse of me doing the outline of this with a pair of dividers and a scribe. And where are we sitting at right now? Here, let me chill for a second. So I got my angels. All right, I designed to put my scroll work down at the top, bottom, and middle. All right, so I got scroll work in about 3.5 spots right there. Now I'm going to cut out a border around the side. Then I'm going to go back in and remove some of that background. I don't think I'm going to dig the background out. I'll probably just stipple it. And that's what I'm working on right now. So let me get to it. Let's get a good zoom here. There we go. It's Christmas Day. I don't know when I'll get this. I don't know when I'll be done editing this video and get it uploaded. But hopefully sometime in early January. I'm not going to upload this video before this guy gets this knife, though. So this whole thing's been kind of a secret. So it's been nice because I can do videos and I'm not really in a particular hurry with the video. I've had a lot of fun making this video. It's been interesting. It adds another level of difficulty trying to talk through something like this as you're doing it. It's kind of focus on what you're doing most of the time. And probably one of the last parts is I'm going to go in and stipple all this background that I don't want. I'm going to stipple all the background like this right here. That isn't scroll work or the angel. So that way it comes out black. And for some reason you're really crazy and you're following me for engraving advice, I'm going to use one of these. This is a stippling tool. And I made that out of a piece of steel. Heat treated it. And the instructions to do that are on the book, The Art of Engraving. All right. This is very not fun to watch and listen to, so I'm going to flip back over to time lapse. All right, we're getting down here. Getting down towards the end with this knife. I cut that scroll work, and I'll probably have to go back over it later. And then I polished it, and I did that background. And I'll do one last video with it here in a minute. But now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go in and I'm blacken the background. And I have this stuff over here. It is messy. It's called printer's offset ink. And you basically cut that with lighter fluid. Oh, the best you can, and you smear it in the lines of the engraving. It gives a really pretty black background. There's a couple different other ways you can do that. You can use black Rust-Oleum and cut that with lighter fluid and rub it into your cracks. But this way is really professional. It lasts a long time, I think. I've had it come out on 1 or 2 knives, but you just put it right back in. So I cut the lighter fluid, got the knife. There we go, how about that? There I got my lighter fluid ink mixture. I'm gonna just rub it in. And crap, I need some paper. You also, after you rub it in, you wipe off the excess with paper. So, get that figured out here in about 2 seconds. There you go. Let's see here. Don't need a lot of this at all. This stuff is messy. Well, but I'm happy to be done with this knife. I'm ready to get it off to its owner. And I know I've mentioned this a couple times. I don't know if I mentioned in this video, but if you want to support projects like this, I didn't make anything off this project. So if I have a Patreon and a GoFundMe to help pay for little costs associated with projects like this. If you reach out and hit me up, I will give those links to you. Oh, hey, what do you know? I got scripts for things. I got all kinds of paper sitting around over here. So after I do this, I bake it in the oven at 220 for 20 minutes. All right. Just take the paper and wipe it. Here's a printer's offset ink. Pretty much all of engraving is a scavenger hunt. You're always looking for some weird stuff like printer's offset ink. I got it at my local copier store. They don't use this stuff anymore, so they were happy to part with it. You give them 20 bucks for a big old tub that's gonna last me a lifetime. Here, want to see it? Here's my tub of printer's offset ink. And every time I use this, I use about 1 toothpick's worth. Unless it's a really big project. In which case I use 3 toothpicks worth. All right. Newspaper works way better for this, by the way. That's what it's gonna look like when she comes out of the oven. But we'll show you here in a little bit. And there goes the finished product. She's all ready to go. And put the clip back on the back and get her shipped off. Hey, thanks for hanging out with me. Thanks for putting up with some of my shoddy camera work. I'm going to work on getting a better camera. And like I said, today's Christmas, so Merry Christmas. And I'll catch you guys next time around. Hey, so that wraps up these 2 videos. It was part 2. And by now, the individual I made the knife for has received it. An old friend of mine. He was really touched by the gesture. And if you guys are interested throwing in on projects like that, I got a couple more coming up, and I have a Patreon and a GoFundMe to help collect money, to raise money for materials for those types of projects. What else? If you want to follow me on Instagram or Facebook, my name is Hussar Engraving on Instagram and Tim Bond's Hussar Engraving on Facebook, spelled like my last name. And I'll throw those links down in the bottom. So, special thanks to a dude named Tim Okers. I believe that's how you say his last name. He's a guy that basically gave that knife to our mutual friend. And I hope you guys have a happy new year. Take care, and I'll see you next time. Also, I turned around and bought a new camera because I got so irritated with that other one. And thank you for putting up with that, and I'm really sorry. I did the best I could editing it and trying to make up for the fact that the picture was crap. And farewell.